Open enrollment for ACA coverage ends today, and the Senate is leaving town for a 10-day recess without a deal to revive or even extend Obamacare subsidies for millions of Americans. Joining us, Punchbowl News co-founder and MS Now political contributor Jake Sherman and former Ohio Congressman Tim Ryan. Jake, why no extension?
Well, the House has passed it, Katie. The Senate has not. The Senate basically picked up the House bill, metaphorically, and is trying to negotiate a compromise that could get enough Republican votes and Democratic votes in the Senate. But they've been stuck, for lack of a better term. And the biggest problem is, I would say, today the White House released the president's own health care framework, which does not resemble anything that Senate Democrats will pass, which was, to be honest with you, in my view, another nail in the coffin for this effort for these subsidies. So I think both sides are kind of assuming that these talks die out and Republicans and Democrats will go in their own way, and health care premiums are going to spike and continue to spike, and this issue will remain unresolved. And I mean, Republicans seem to think that they could blame Democrats and say, well, Democrats passed this, it's unaffordable, it's their fault. But there are plenty of laws that don't work great that parties fix. The opposite party fixes, or, there's problems, there's concerns, they fix them. But on Obamacare, that seems to be a bridge too far for Republicans.
Why is that, though, Jake? I mean, why do they not want to be the heroes of this story?
I don't understand it, Katie. I don't understand it. I mean, the lengths to which Republicans had to go, Republicans who wanted to extend these subsidies, to get a vote on the floor were tremendous. I mean, they waited a long time. They signed a discharge petition. There were a lot of procedural hoops to jump through. And then Mike Lawler, after he voted for it and signed the discharge petition, he kind of said, yeah, I signed it, but it's BS. We're hoping to get a better product in the Senate. And now the Senate's not doing anything, or their talks are sputtering out. I don't know, to be honest with you, Katie. I think Republicans have run against this law for a long time, and they have no interest in trying to fix it. And I don't think, I mean, we're, January 15th, right? I don't think that in any time in the near future, Republicans are going to rally around a plan that is as comprehensive as Obamacare and can pass the Senate and the House. I just don't think that's possible.
So the cynical view by many Americans, Tim, will be that they're lobbyists that have bought them off, that they don't want to vote for this because the healthcare industry, these insurance companies or hospitals, whatever, they've bought them off. Don't vote for this. It's not good for us. We want people to be on our system, and this one's not a good one. Is that too cynical? Is that really all the entire way politics works? Whoever buys you off is the way you're voting?
No, I don't think. I mean, that sure is a part of it, I'm sure. But I think it has more to do with, it's called Obamacare, and it's spending money. It's
yeah, but then why not just rename it? We're going to rename this Trump Care, or we're going to rename it Johnson Care, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, that would be the smart move. But they're so obsessed with Obama. They're so obsessed with owning the libs and owning the left, and they just can't get their heads around actually trying to do some constructive policy. And I think that's what you're seeing now. And then you throw a little more gas on that fire with all of the abortion stuff that they've got to kind of, appease the very extreme right wing on abortion. It's a bad mix. I think Jake encapsulated it pretty well, that it's going to be very, very hard. I mean, we saw this, I don't know, since 2010. They've had a plan. When the Tea Party came in, they had a plan of fixing Obamacare and getting rid of it. And here we are in 2026, and they still haven't done it.
500,000 folks in Ohio on the subsidies. What are you hearing out there? Is this going to be a potent campaign issue?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very, very big one, not in and of itself, but in addition to high property taxes, in addition to inflation, in addition to, utility bills. So this is just one more thing that I think Democrats could frame up in a state like Ohio and many other states, that this is going to be a real problem for Republicans, because this one, I think, generally speaking, most voters understand the dynamics of this, again, because it's been going on since 2010, that the Republicans are the ones who are throwing sand into the gears here.
Jake, I mean, they're not shy about renaming things. Donald Trump renamed the Kennedy Center after himself. So why not? Like, what's stopping them from trying to do that?
Well, healthcare is very, as Tim will remember, it's very complicated. I mean, he was in Congress when Obamacare passed. I was covering Congress when Obamacare passed. This was I remember it was a year-long effort. This was incredibly, incredibly difficult. And right now, they have in the House a 2-vote majority. They have members of Congress who one has just passed away. They have people who are sick, who have sick spouses. Wesley Hunt in Texas hasn't really shown up in Washington because he's running for Senate. They don't have the political capital to do anything right now, nor do they have they don't have the energy and they don't have the discipline. I mean, they just don't. And that's not. Republicans are different than Democrats, Katie. They don't get in line, and they always look for what's not in the bill rather than what is in the bill, and they don't like to work under the political reality that they have. And I'll tell you what, Katie, if you head into an election year, let's take a few points here. Number one, this is historically midterms are bad for the incumbent party. We all know that. Number two, the administration and Republicans in Congress cannot just say, don't believe what you feel. Everything's going great if people don't feel things are growing great. I mean, Trump said he'd bring down costs on day one. I think it's broadly accepted that he has not brought down costs to the extent that he said he would. That's number two. And number three,